Hello. I want to take a minute to go over some functionality added to Vicinity 4.47, which is our June 30th, 2024 release. Specifically, this one is only for our clients integrated to Microsoft Dynamics GP. It doesn't affect our Solomon Nav or Business Central clients. So if you're one of those, feel free to listen, but this is really geared toward our GP clients. Specifically, one of the challenges that we have is that in the way GP allows us to create transactions and then call the post, it's not possible for us to wait for the post to complete before pulling back the raw material costs. It would sound logical that we create the transactions, call the GP post, and then when that's done, get the updated costs. But because there can be a delay in GP posting, it's not possible for us to always do that. It may not post for a couple of days in GP, depending on how GP is configured. There's nothing we can do about that in Vicinity. So instead, what we did is said, okay, go ahead and post it, call the post, and then next time you need to do a transaction, most notably put a finished good on hand or even for that matter, consume more raw materials or put a byproduct on hand. Whenever you're going to do that next transaction, that's when we go to GP to get the updated cost. And that's worked for years, and it doesn't really cause any problem, certainly not from an accounting perspective, because everything is in balance. It just hasn't been completed in GP. The problem that it does bring up, however, is that at a month end, a lot of clients want to go and reconcile their production clearing account or their WIP account. That is the account that the raw material costs are added to before anything is put on hand. So let's say at the end of the month, you record a bunch of raw materials but haven't put anything on hand. We'll post those transactions to GP, and they'll get into the general ledger, and everything's fine. But if you go run a batch report supporting that WIP account, which is a very logical next step, the totals won't agree because we haven't pulled back the actual costs yet from the post. So the general ledger could very well be out of balance with the list of open batches because the open batch list hasn't been updated with the actual posted values of the raw materials. So very convoluted setup, but basically what's happening is we can post all these costs and we can get a consumed value until we refresh to the actual posting. This consumed value is basically off the last cost of inventory. It's the best guess that we had in posting, but we don't know that what the actual posted value would be. As well, these values spreading across some end items would not be valid yet either, or complete, or what the general ledger might see. So we added a utility within the mass component maintenance screen that it basically identifies that an ERP WIP reconciliation is necessary. In other words, long word to basically say, go back and check the costs of those raw materials because they've been posted. And it's really simple to do. We've added this column, so we have a checkbox here. And so in this case, I would just select that specific batch. And under Actions, we added this Reconcile. And all it is doing is going to GP, finding out what those posted values were of the transaction, because remember you could have different cost layers, and it's bringing those costs back and updating the batch records within Vicinity. It's not actually creating any transactions. It's not doing anything other than updating the header and line item details with some values from GP. It would be a good thing to do at month-end close, I think. And so we also added this button that actually allows you to filter this. So you'll only see those that require a WIP reconciliation. In other words, there's a balance still sitting out there. We haven't gotten those values that we sent over. We haven't got the resulting values back. So either way, you can keep it open and see all of them, or you can restrict it and just select whichever ones and then go through the reconciliation. And what that will do is true up the batch cost on the batch reports that you might have to agree with what you've got over in the general ledger. It's really just a timing difference on when the batch documents got updated. anyway, we really appreciate you bringing that to our attention. That came from a client. If you have any of those type of things, difficulty in closing month end or reconciling something, please let us know. We can always work with you to find a way to handle it or add a feature as we did here. Thanks a lot and have a great day.